DJ Autism.
Just nice, white noise. Just nice, white noise. I'm here ecstatic, you like it automatic. Just wanna keep me on repeat and hear me cry.
What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the brand new CS2 update that has come out. Has this ruined trading for CS? Well, we're going to have a look at it. In my opinion, yes and no. They've ruined one part of the CS trading, and that is peer-to-peer trading. And I'll show you guys exactly why that is. Because now there's like a whole extra step where it's basically kind of impossible, because you're basically sending a skin and also not getting the money. Or vice versa. You're sending your skin, getting the money, but the person can then refund the skin or get the skin back from the person. So I'll get to all of that in a second. I have pictures, and I've tried it with one of my second accounts just to see how it works and what the whole process is. Now, first of all, I want to say that the new update is actually kind of sick. I kind of enjoy the changes that they've made. They've brought out Overpass again, and they've taken out Anubis from the active map pool, which is very, very cool. I'm happy with that. I like Overpass. Anubis and Ancient, not really my cup of tea. So Overpass being back in, I actually really enjoy that. It's very, very sick. Also, the MP9 has gotten a nerf. Now, the recoil increases greatly, and also it's a lot more difficult to jump and moving shoot with this gun, because before it used to be absolutely mental what you could do with this gun, and I'm very, very happy with that. Also, now there's, I think you get an extra $50 for every kill as a CT player, because now it helps with economy for the CT side as well, which is very, very cool. Kind of, they nerfed the MP9, right, for the CT side, but then they kind of increased the money that you get per kill for the CT side. Again, it's a nice little balance. I like that they've nerfed the MP9, honestly. I'd rather prefer that they got rid of the MP9 altogether, but I'm happy that they at least made it so it's now not overpowered and you could basically out-rifle riflers with the gun. You know, very, very sick. So that's cool. Now, let's get started with the actual update itself with the whole trading thing. So basically with the whole trading thing now, all they've added is a trade protection. So I don't have it right now, but if I go over to my trade offers right now and I go to the new or sent offers, sorry, I have one here with one of my second accounts where you can see I've just traded an item right now just to see how this thing works. And this is it, right? Let me show you exactly what happens here. So I've sent the skin over, right? Just the 5.7 coolant I just got as a weekly drop. Doesn't really matter anything to me. And I've traded it over onto my second account. I've gained it onto my second account. I had a couple of screenshots that I saved, basically showing what it actually tells you when you're doing this. Now these trade protections are only here in place only for CS2 trades at the moment. So there's no other like game or anything like that can actually support these trade protected trades, right? Or protected trades. They just don't exist except for CS2 at the moment. And as you can see, I've accepted it on the 16th of July, and it will be protected until the 24th of July. So for 7 days, basically, it's 7 days and a few hours now, because it's usually for me, it's in the morning when the day trade like resets, basically. That's how it works. But on the 24th of July, I will be able to then lose this skin forever, basically, out of my account, right? Until then, I can, right now, go to learn more. I'll show you guys exactly what this looks like. I don't know why it's in the tiniest window possible, but if I scroll down, it'll tell you what trade protection is. Trade protection is a feature that of some games support that allow you to reverse the trades within the last 7 days, right? So for the last 7 days, you'll have an item now in the account that looks like this, and this item is trade protected can be consumed, modified, or transferred until whatever date, right? That is kind of normal. That we've had that before, right? Where we had the skin that you've gotten into your inventory, but you can't really trade it or do anything for 7 days, right? We've already had that cooldown where with the skin, you can't do that. However, we've never had the feature of reversing trades. So now, how do I reverse trades? Do I need to write to Steam support? Well, you don't need to write to Steam support. It says, first of all, make sure that you have access to your Steam account, and you can access them directly, but you don't really need to at this point. All you do is go to view your trade history. You can see a bunch of random stuff that I've traded between my second accounts and also skins that I've bought and sold and all that sort of stuff. But you see this brand new one that's up here, 5.7 coolant. You have a recent trade with protected items. Do you recognize the trade? Click here to recover your trade. So all I have to do is click on that and then scroll down and then reverse the eligible trade. To ensure that your account has been secured and minimize the security-related incidents, you will not be able to trade or market items for any game for 30 days. That is the only good thing about this, right? So let's say if someone decides to scam someone out of an item. The only issue is, with the whole 30 days thing, is that maybe you can get it back by contacting Steam support at this point. So there is still of a thing there. But let's say you're doing massive trades, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. What is 30 days really? You know, like you can basically scam someone and just do this. The whole thing with this is that it's not the same. So let's say I'm the scammer in this situation. I have the skin and I want to sell it to someone, right? They send me the money and I send them the skin, right? But within those 7 days, I can claim back that skin, right? I'm banned for 30 days for trading all that sort of stuff. But I now have that person's money and I have the skin. So there needs to be some sort of a feature here, which of course, now all of these trading sites, so you'll have, you know, CS Money, Skinport, stuff like that, you know, Pirate Swap, whatever it is. There's a lot of skin sites out there. Buff, I think, is maybe one of them as well. There's a lot of skin sites now that will end up having to put a bit of a deterrent on this, which means that they're going to have to withhold people's money, especially if they're doing peer-to-peer trades. If they're doing trades where it comes from bots, they might not be able to do stuff like this. So stuff like Skinport, for example, which is a site that's notorious for, obviously, or it's known for, not having its own balance in-game. It means that now they have to basically hold your money in escrow. Another site that I've used to buy and sell skins, which was CS Float, I ended up using that site, and now I actually ended up selling. I'll show you a picture. I sold like one of these little charms. As you can see, this little SAS charm that I sold to this person here, right? And it was sold yesterday, technically, or this morning. Yeah, it now has a 9-day cooldown for me to actually get the money that I've basically sold that charm for. So I have like 50 cent that's just now sitting in escrow for 9 days. It's pretty mental to think that. However, I don't technically have the money, but he technically now has my item to play for 7 days. So if he's like bored of it, if he's played the game right with this item and it's like, I don't really want it anymore, let me just reverse the trade, he just sends me the gun back, right? So how does that work? So he sends me the gun back and then my money goes back to him now. You know what I mean? Like, how is this going to work exactly? The only issue is with that is, of course, these people won't be able to do that often because you have a 30-day ban for that. But I'm just saying this for like big items, you know, stuff like mental thousands and thousands and thousands of euro, right? Like if it's stuff like really cheap stuff, like, you know, a little charm or a gun that's worth like 20, 30 quid, right? It's not really that big of an issue. But if it's something that's worth thousands and thousands of dollars, I feel like that could be a bit of an issue here. Again, it's not absolutely mental, but I feel like there needs to be, especially with the sites now, like extra sites that you go through, because if you buy and sell off of the Steam market, there's no issues there, you get everything instantly. But if it's mental sites out there, right, where you have thousands and thousands of dollars worth of skins, they need to have some sort of a way to not be able to have peer-to-peer trade. That's why Skinport doesn't have peer-to-peer trades, they have bots. And that means also that your money goes directly into your bank account when you sell a skin. It doesn't actually go into their own account. However, now that it might have to. It might have to go into like a little escrow account because of it. So, I don't know exactly how this is going to work, if this is going to be a good or a bad thing for the market. I think maybe the prices of everything will drop slightly, but everybody will realize that this is actually a good thing. And, you know, the prices are going to continue to climb as usual. But, again, it's just sort of like a here or there. Like I said, I think trading with sites is going to get even bigger, like with external sites, like, you know, Skinport and CS Float and all that sort of stuff. I feel like all of that trading is going to get even bigger and even more used. And now peer-to-peer trades is going to be less and less used because there is a high chance of you being able to get scammed with the situation, right? Like you can basically have your skin being sent back to you and they keep the money. You know what I mean? So it's a very weird thing at this point. So again, we'll have to see how this works. If anybody will end up getting scammed by doing this, hopefully not, and hopefully the system actually works very well. But this was, I think, a very quick return on how this works with that new scam that came out, where basically, well, it's not new because it happened many years ago as well. but basically you have a game that's being created on Steam, which isn't really a game, it's just a nothing game. But the person can actually copy the files of CS for skins, and you can trade basically the same sort of skins to a person. Like, let's say this guy wants a Karambit, you can send this person a Karambit, but it's not actually for CS, it's for another game, even though it has the same symbol, the same logo, same everything, same name. Literally, the trade could look as legit as possible until you look at the actual game name that the person is sending you the skin from. And that is a way that people can get scammed very, very easily. And obviously now it doesn't happen anymore because I'm pretty sure the game got removed from Steam. But to prevent stuff like that from happening and people getting scammed, this is a very good deterrent. Like, it's a very cool thing to have in this game, where now you can be like, oh damn, you know, someone's hacked into my account, they've sent all my skins over to their account, how do I get them back, right? You gain access to your account again, you can get your skins back, which again, I think it's a very good thing, right? That is something that where Valve was like looking at with the correct, like in the correct way, basically, you know. They're not looking at it in a way where, you know, let's screw over everybody else that's trading skins outside of CS. Let's look at people being actually scammed, you know. And with that, like, view and perspective, it makes perfect sense for them to include this in this update. So that's pretty much how this works. Hopefully you've watched the gameplay in the background of me trying to use the MP9. Yeah, it's not great anymore. But I do think that this update is actually kind of sick. Have we gotten any new skins? No, not really, but I do think this is going to be an interesting, at least, time period in CS's, you know, skin history, because of how this is going to work. It's basically going to slow down buying and selling skins for a lot of people, but apart from that, there's not really much that's really going to change, because the only thing that's really slowing down is you actually getting the money for the skin that you sold. And that's pretty much it. That is the only thing that really gets now being withheld, is your money being withheld for a week, you know, instead of getting your money instantly for the skin that you ended up selling. That's it from me. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more videos like this on the channel, then of course subscribe. I am a racing game YouTuber, but I do dabble in CS. I have played CS for a very, very long time, so I thought I'd make a little video on the newest update here. So anyway, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.